And for me, it was absolutely amazing, man, because I've done so many different fasts throughout my lifetime. I did, for example, a 10-day water fast. I did a 35-day juice fast, where you're just juicing, green juices, vegetable juices, and just drink that. No food whatsoever. 35 days of no food. I did all kinds of different practices, as I said, but I never did a dry fast for a whole month, essentially. And for me, it was absolutely amazing. It was amazing because I have to say as well, it was not the way that I expected it to be. I thought that you're going to be extremely thirsty all the time, but that wasn't the case at all. And later on, I found out that your body is actually capable of converting your fat cells in combination with the oxygen that we're breathing into water, because the fat cells contain hydrogen, right? And you're breathing the oxygen. And so therefore you take oxygen molecules and the H molecule, the hydrogen molecule, and it gets combined into HO2, which is water. So your body is actually able to create its own water supply through hydrogen and the oxygen that you're breathing. That's amazing. It doesn't go on forever, of course. Yeah, that's halal.
It's halal, doesn't break your fast.
That's right, yeah. But that's really how it works. So your body is supplying itself with water for a brief period of time before you, of course, then get dehydrated. But nevertheless, for me, it was absolutely amazing. The clarity of mind was phenomenal. And moreover, of course, because I just reverted to Islam, to then begin Ramadan right away, it couldn't have been any more perfect than that, because I got to experience Ramadan as a Muslim. And I think I speak for all the Muslims here that during Ramadan, the iman, the strength of your faith is something on a totally different level. I never felt so close to God as I did during Ramadan. It was absolutely amazing, because you're doing your prayers, but you're doing them whilst you're not eating, whilst you're not drinking. So they're even more focused. You cannot put your mind onto anything else but the prayer, right? Fajr was a pleasure for me, waking up even before Fajr, then the last little meal, and then doing Fajr, and then doing the 5 prayers during the day. Everything was so focused on it. And I have to say, I wasn't even looking forward to breaking the fast at the end of the day, because when I get into something, I really want to ride it out even further. And I would sometimes even break it like 2 hours later also. Just stay outside in the park with my kid, play. I wasn't looking forward to iftar that much. I have Pakistani neighbors here, and they would invite me, let's eat now, and eat shawarma and whatnot. For me, it wasn't so exciting, to be totally honest. For me, the fasting was extremely exciting. I really loved it, because I felt so close to God during that time.
So just to touch on that really quickly, I don't know if you've heard this before, but the scholars will mention that it is disliked to delay the breaking of the fast. So we should break. Brother Rami from the One Muslim channel, he's on the chat. Just to mention him quickly, he was the host of the YouTube takeover stream that we had with the Revert brothers, and talking about the importance of seeking knowledge. Brother Rami, if you can find the hadith for that or something, because I wasn't expecting to touch up on that. But yeah, so the scholars mentioned that it's very important to break the fast. So it's not more rewarding to delay it, because the sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam is to break it immediately, and he encouraged to do it immediately, to break the fast, and then to pray Maghrib, obviously. So yeah, just wanted to touch
thank you
up
for
on
the
that.
knowledge. Thank you for the knowledge. Absolutely, I'm still learning. I didn't expect any more reward. Just that being
We're all still learning, bro. I've been Muslim 14 years, but I got little knowledge, man. I try to share whatever little I can.
No, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Absolutely. As that, for me, it was just, it felt so nice. It felt so pure. I felt so clean not eating during that time. And yeah, I would find myself being in the park, still out with the family, still out with my kid, playing outside, and yeah, not really thinking about breaking my fast then.
I know what you're saying, because you get used to the fasting. It's like you can just keep going. I know what you're saying.
Yeah, for me, it was about, I believe it was 3 p.m. or so. 3 p.m. I was really hungry. The time frame around 3 to 5 p.m. or so, I was really hungry. And if I could break the fast there, it would have felt fantastic probably. But once that time frame was passed, after that, I didn't feel like eating at all anymore. I could have just fasted throughout the next day probably.
I think it's probably the same for most Muslims, because I can relate to that as well. It's always that, like around Asr time, that you start to feel the hunger. How was your suhoor? What were you having before the Fajr, for the starting of the...
I tried all kinds of things. So I tried a ketogenic meal, but that made me feel kind of sick during the day for whatever reason. I tried to eat just eggs and cheese, like a very, very fatty meal. It didn't work out properly for me. Then I tried the proper bodybuilding meal, which is oatmeals and protein powder, something like that. So that worked okay. But yeah, in the end, most of the time, especially the last week or so, I wasn't hungry at all anymore in the morning. And I would just drink a protein shake, not even like this big smoothie or anything, just a protein shake, and stick with that. And that would work the best most of the time. And this is why, for the Islamophobes out there, because I heard it during Ramadan quite often, they would say, oh, well, that's not really fasting. It is feasting. The Muslims, they are waking up and then they're eating everything they want, and then they are not eating for a brief moment of time and then they are feasting again. Okay, maybe somebody, but for me, it wasn't like that at all. I had one protein shake in the end, and then I would fast the whole day. And usually I would have 1, maybe 2 meals at the end of the day, and they were very, very clean. It would be rice and steak, rice and chicken, something on those lines. So I wasn't feasting at all whatsoever. Quite the opposite. I felt that my gut would get smaller and smaller over that month. And I didn't even have the appetite to eat much. I was always full after my rice and chicken meal.
And that's in line with the sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. His stomach was always flat. He never overate. And he mentioned the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentioned that it's enough to eat enough portions of food to keep your back straight. And if you want to eat more than that, so the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam would eat very little. If you want to eat more than that, then keep 1/3 of food in your stomach for 1/3 in your stomach for food, 1/3 for water, 1/3 for air. So that's, if you wanted to eat more, you shouldn't go beyond that. So these Islamophobes saying, oh, we just feast and stuff, and then some Muslims do. Some I can be guilty of that sometimes as well, but it's not in accordance with the sunnah of the Prophet. It's actually against it if we overeat anyway.
There you go. If it doesn't go in accordance with the theology itself, it doesn't matter what a Muslim does. There's nothing to do with religion then, if somebody overeats or not. But exactly. Other than that, during the time of Ramadan, it was the hottest month here in Thailand as well. It was an epic journey, man. I really loved it, because we would go, for example, on Friday to the mosque, and you would arrive there sunburned and totally dehydrated because we were sweating so much, and then we would arrive finally at the mosque, you do the prayer, you're without food, without drink. It was really challenging, but I enjoyed the challenge, because especially nowadays, as a dad, my extreme days, like really extreme days, are over. And back in the day, I used to squat like 220 kilos or something like that. I don't know what that is in pounds for people watching. I used to do very, very heavy weights, very, very challenging things. And lately I haven't been doing too many crazy challenging things. But doing a dry fast during the hottest month in Thailand was finally something that I could challenge myself with. It was very, very enjoyable for me. It was spiritual, it was physical. That was absolutely beautiful. I liked it. And for the people that always wanted me to make a video about my Ramadan, I tried, but I never succeeded because I was so in the moment during that month. I didn't feel like uploading anything particular about Ramadan. People wanted to hear my experience with it. They wanted to see a day in the life. And I didn't feel like it at all. And I know that it would be better for the YouTube channel to do certain things, but I never do them for the sake of the YouTube channel. And I just don't ever do that. For example, Sneeko was here in Thailand, and people want me to collaborate with Sneeko. And Sneeko wrote me. He got my number from Sheikh Uthman, and he wrote me and he told me that he's in Phuket at the moment. But I'm in Bangkok, so now I could take a flight ticket for $30. It's not even expensive, and I could fly over to Phuket, and we could have collaborated, etc., etc. But I don't do that. I am not chasing cloud. I really couldn't care less, So I told him, hey man, if you're in Bangkok, stop by, you're invited, I'll bring you to the mosque. If not, next time, all good, And that's why. So with the Ramadan content, for me, it was so amazing to be finally Muslim and to fast Ramadan that I couldn't worry about those things. I couldn't worry about taking my camera to the mosque and filming it, and now we're having iftar or whatever it might be. It wouldn't feel organic. So that's why I didn't do it. Maybe next year, we'll see.
I dropped drastically with my content in Ramadan. Because didn't feel like doing much during the fasting, and nighttime was very busy as well with going for Isha and then praying Taraweeh, and so but alhamdulillah.